If you play enough gigs, you're going to encounter a lot of variables. And this past Friday, I encountered one that's happened a couple times before, but this is the first time I actually got it on film. And that was, there were no monitors. Like literally, I couldn't hear anything coming out of my monitors. I couldn't hear anything coming out of my ears, my in-ears, that is. And so what do you do in that situation? In the situation I was in, I was on a gig where I was subbing for a friend of mine. And I had never met anybody in this band before. I didn't know how they operated. And I never even played at this venue before. And so I always like to be there early. I got there early and set up. And there was some kind of snafu, I guess, with maybe the sound guys or with switching over, or it was basically like one sound guy was flying someone else's sound rig. And I actually felt really bad for the sound guy because it wasn't his fault. And he was doing everything in his power to figure out the situation. And it just, what do you do when you're supposed to start playing and there's no sound and no monitors? So I was able to document that. And this is very much like a Spinal Tap moment, where I think if you're a musician, you can watch this and it might make you uncomfortable because it hits really close to home. Ah, shit.
Alright guys, I will work on these vocals. Drums, let's see what's going on with the drums and just make sure we got signals. Are they getting to people? Are they getting back to you at the drums?
I mean, I can hear the drums on stage.
Is that yes? Are you hearing that in that monitor?
I don't think so. At this point, we've been noodling with the sound for about 45 minutes, past our downbeat time. And my monitor still really isn't working. I can hear some stuff maybe from other people's monitors or maybe from front of the house or maybe just the rigs on stage. But it's really, it's not, and again, it's not the sound guy's fault, but it's just like, I really can't tell what's going on. But the show must go on. So what I do is I have my charts with me, and I had a metronome, and I just put the metronome in my ear, and I can kind of hear stuff coming from the outside, but I'm like, I'm not going to be able to hear any of everything that's going on, the nuances, but I know these songs well enough that I can hear them in my head, and I can kind of guide people through them. And it's not going to be easy. There might be some slip-ups, but really my job is to keep things moving, keep them rolling. So especially when you're playing this style of music, I figure if I can just keep that train rolling and just go boom, crack, that will get everybody started. That will get kind of everyone calm and chilled out and just get the show on the road. So this first song, I really have no idea what's going on. I can kind of hear a click track in my ear. I can see a little bit of a chart, and I'm looking at people to see what's going on, to see when they're starting and stopping. But it's essentially like I'm playing in a phone booth. So take a listen, and you can probably hear. You can't hear much of what's going on musically because there's no monitors right by my drums, but you can get a feel for what's going on. You ready? Okay, here we go. Long white line. 1, 2, 3. At this point, everyone's kind of getting their sea legs. People are kind of hearing things, but I still really can't hear much of what's going on. And you can see right here after this break, you can see that I kind of stop and everyone's in a little bit different places, maybe a bar or two off from each other, but it still works. And I hear, oh, I'm maybe a bar off, and I just kind of readjust, because even if I stop and then I start back again, it works. Right? And it's not a complete train wreck because I'm still keeping that pulse. Everyone's keeping going. And it's not perfect, but we're getting the job done. So coming out of the solo, we were in a little bit different spots, but it wasn't a train wreck. And so I was able to look at the lead guitar player, kind of see what's going on, and we all ended in the same place, which is great. You know, we start at the same time, end at the same time, no train wrecks. That's really a win when you have no monitors. So everything's going, it's going at this point. So we're starting to get our sea legs. Gonna play another tune. I'll show you. Everyone's starting to adjust a little bit, and I'm keeping things rolling. So here's a clip of the next tune. So if you notice, my right hand, I'm playing on the rim of the snare drum instead of the hi-hats. And I'm doing this, I like doing this when the sound is good, but I also really like doing this when we're still kind of fixing the sound situation. And why I'm doing this is because we're just hearing kick and snare. That's what the band needs to hear, that's what I need to hear, but it's leaving room in the high frequencies for me to be able to hear the guitar, to hear the vocals and the fiddle when I can't hear it from my monitor. So by keeping my volume down, but just keeping the meat and potatoes, the kick and snare, I'm able to hear better, everyone's able to hear better, less elements for me to juggle, and it keeps things moving along. As you can see, it slowly started getting a little bit better. The next song, they even decided to turn on the stage lights. But by the end of the night, we kind of figured out that the person who was running sound, they came in, I think it was short notice, and they were working with someone else's rig, and they were just, they were like hitting buttons, but it was on the wrong layer. So everything was mixed up and backwards. But really, these things happen a lot. Like, nothing is ever going to be perfect. So what can you do and what can you control? And also, like, what kind of connections and what kind of attitude am I going to have on this gig as well? Because one thing I got to say about the person running sounds, if I was ever in a position to hire him, I absolutely 100% would. Like, without a doubt. And why I would, because he was doing everything with a smile. He was apologetic, but he was positive, and he made the best of a pretty bad situation that I don't think was his fault. And he was just putting out a good vibe. And I think that's really important, especially when you're in a situation where it can be frustrating. You just show up and it's like, all right, well, let's do our best. Let's see what happens. And I think that really helps some people perform. So hats off to the sound guy. Yeah, man, I would absolutely work with you again, because if I feel comfortable working with somebody, playing with somebody, being on a stage with someone, I think that really matters. And that's also something I strive to do. I want to try to make everyone comfortable, and I want to be genuine, because you know what? I really love playing. And if you have a bad day where maybe, things aren't exactly the way you want it, it's a lot better than working inside of an Amazon warehouse. So yeah, that was just, another gig in the books here in Nashville. So again, if you like what I'm putting out here, I'm trying to do a video pretty much every day. don't you like, subscribe, shoot me a comment. If you have any questions, if there's something you want me to see or want to see me do or talk about, shoot me a message. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.